What is up, my Good Vibes Tribe, and welcome to another episode of the DJ Spotlight here on Disc Jockey News TV. This duo is absolutely slaying it with their amazing music selection, track creation, hype sets, and good vibes. Their DJ sets will take you on a journey from 124 to 175 beats per minute, no problem. With roots in Colombia, married couple Adriana and Frank have since made Canada their home, and we are so glad that they did. They've been rocking festival grounds and club nights across North America while banging out their own tunes. Today, I get to sit down with the two known as Monkey Twerk. Thank you so much for joining us today.
What's up?
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. You two are from Colombia and have made your home here in Canada. Can you tell us a bit about that journey and how music has been involved?
Okay, so do you want to tell them about how you hit on me or how I hit on you?
Well, first of all, we came here separately.
Yes.
She came first, and then I came after through an internship.
Yeah, we met in Calgary.
And then we met at a conference in Calgary.
And, I remember I would pick him up and, like at that time we didn't have aux cords or anything. So I would be playing my CDs.
A bunch of awesome CDs.
He's like, oh my God, you have that CD. Oh my God, you have that CD. And so we just really connected through music right away. And
we have several the same CDs, but then she had a bunch of other things that I had no clue. A lot of hip hop, for example, and electronic too.
Yeah. And then we did long distance for a while. So we would have Skype parties. Okay, so Friday after work, it was 11 for me at night and it was 11 for him in the morning. We're opposite sides of the world.
Yeah, I was in Colombia and she was in Taiwan for this year.
And then we just we would play music for each other. Oh, I got the song for you. I got the song for you. And then we would maybe drink a little bit and maybe strip for each other. Just
party all night, baby. Impressing each other with tracks. So
yes.
The root of the music with
so we just kind of always vibed on similar music. And then once Frank moved to Calgary, for good, then we went to Shambhala. And then we were oh my God.
It was just
we have to do this.
It's amazing.
We have to do this. And then it took us a while because, you have an idea and then to materialize it takes a little bit longer. So we ended up getting some DJ equipment and played with it for a bit, very painfully. And then eventually decided to take some courses together. Yes. And then, every chance we got to play, we took it. It didn't matter if it was a baptism or a funeral, we were there.
Kitty's birthday, anything we could take, anything, we'll play the party.
Yeah. So then now we're here.
Now we're here. Yeah. That's a very quick summary of that journey through music.
That is, and you went in so many different directions. I love it. I was so excited to hear your set of emotion. Oh my gosh. The energy from that set was so phenomenal. But even just seeing the two of you walking around and good vibes. What I remembered most was that easygoing, happy-go-lucky, positive vibe. And I feel like others at that festival definitely noticed it. A lot of people were like, you got to bring Monkey Twerk back.
Yes.
So my question to you as artists, how important do you think a positive attitude is in this business and why?
Yeah, well, I think that, at the very, very first point is that people forget that we're here partying and we're having fun. And, there's a lot of egos cluttering minds sometimes or thoughts that don't need to be there. And more than how important it is to have a positive vibe or not, is that it's a party and a party is about positive vibes. And that's probably the first insight that I have there.
We played our first festival, it came really quickly. And obviously you're nervous to be on a big stage. And I remember talking to my best friend and she said, Adri, just have fun. And so I think having fun is super important. like, I think everybody just picks upon it. I think if you're like major serious phase running calculations and algorithms while you play, you know, it's a little distracting sometimes. You're like, are you stressed out? Should we get you a coffee or like, you know, a tequila shot? But positive vibes, I think, are also key in the journey, like not just like on the stage, but everybody just gets to see that Instagram post or that, you know, IG story or whatever it is, and it's super hype. But throughout it, you have these moments where you question things and like, where am I going? What's my next step?
Is
like,
this working? Is people liking it?
Or you have a bad moment for whatever it is. And I think having a good attitude and just kind of having a good direction and believing in yourself, like in that sense, and is really important. But also chilling, like, okay, at the end of the day, where it's not brain surgery.
Yeah, exactly. It's not rocket science. It's a party.
Just
you know, and again, it's the artist's life. It goes, you know, an artist goes through highs and lows all the time, and the positive vibe is not only important again at the stage, but exactly through the journey. So you can keep, you know, vibing through those lows until you hit the next high and propel yourself, you know, to another adventure.
When in doubt, gelato. So ice cream always helps.
I do party rum shots.
Yeah, I can get down with that. Like food. Whenever me and my friend Mark, when we go out, he's also a DJ, and it's like we're just kind of getting to that point of the night, and we're like, okay, we need a different switch up, and it's just like we look at each other, we're like, cheeseburger, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever your jam is, like, do it.
Yeah, agreed. Cheeseburgers are always awesome.
Yeah.
Always welcome.
Yeah.
Anytime, everywhere, any language, any location.
With bacon.
Speaking of food, I love your EPK, especially your hospitality. You're like gummies and bananas. But it makes me think about branding, because as I dig deeper into your brand, it sounds like you're really slaying with it. You have this mix of goofy but professional, and I think that's actually really difficult to pull off. How did you go about figuring out your brand, how you came together? Because I gotta say, it's not easy being a duo. I've done it before, and yeah, what do you guys think it takes?
Okay, so I think the brand first comes in just like your personality. I think our name is like, you know, it's nothing super serious.
Yes.
It's just like you get a smile when you say Monkey Twerk, you know, and it's just who we are. And being a duo, it has its ups and downs, but I think it's really fun. Like we vibe on the same music.
Yeah.
But I think everybody always gets a little bit defensive and like, oh, I like this, and this is the way I like to do things. And I think it's important to remember that it's not about you. Like, it's about, you know, this thing that we're doing together. And Frank has different strengths than I do. So for me, it's important that I listen, you know, to what he has to bring, because he's half of the equation and he obviously brings a really valuable part. So I think sometimes, again, it's just like not taking yourself super seriously and realizing that everybody brings something to the table.
Yeah, I think that, well, the brand as the brand was born very randomly, just throwing words out of the blue, and then that, you know, we laughed about it, and then, okay, that's it. But again, like what you were saying was very key, you know, that this fine balance between, you know, goofiness and professionalism. I think that was always important. The goofiness, we always knew that it was about having fun, about really enjoying each other as company while doing this and partying and putting out a good time for everybody. But we also knew that in order to come up with a different project, something unique, you know, it would be more valuable to do it together. From the point of view of the market, because okay, this is definitely different than you, from the point of view of us, since, you know, if we're both pushing for something that we both like and that we both appreciate, there's more success surrounding the whole idea, and we each will bring our strengths, our influences, like we do, that's the key thing too. We do like the same music, and that's been definitely a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to enjoy each other, all the genres, and that's basically our parties, changing rhythms and genres. But she has she had a bigger hip hop influence that I did. I didn't know any hip hop when I came here. I have maybe like a bigger Latin influence. When we party, I tend towards like groovier, happy rhythms or genres, and then she goes
Frank
into
calls
basic.
it Sounds of the World with Adriana.
No, but she goes into more basic music,
Yeah.
and maybe some reggaes, and when we go real filthy bass up there in the BPMs, she's the one that writes that, and then I follow, and then we get really groovy. I lead the way. So it's been always that knowing that together it's better in all of the senses, for sure.
And I think, like you said, like, when you watch our sets, we kind of go everywhere. It's similar vibe throughout whatever we're playing.
Yeah.
But is that complementary thing? Like, if it was just me, I'd probably be playing like either really hard or really slow. And then Frank is this happy medium, like literally like a very happy medium. So it just pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, and it's also, at the end of the day, it's also really fun.
Yes.
When we play together, we always treat it as a date. We go out, we party, we dance, we have a good time, and then since we're doing this together, I don't have to pay for her drinks, we just get drinks from the gig. So it definitely works at all levels.
Yeah. And you don't have to eat, or you don't have to pay for food. They just like supply.
Yeah. So no, it works.
sustainable.
And
Yeah.
exactly, and it's good, and we like it, and then so we enjoy it, and that way we contribute, from our own sides, and we'll just make it better.
Yeah. Or sometimes like somebody goes rogue. Like, okay, we had agreed to something, and then like, all right, and then you have to be ready to pick it up wherever the other person
Yeah,
left
like
it
a
off,
secret
so-
USB with a secret stash of music. Okay, here we go. Like, what? We didn't agree to that.
Like, well, I'm still angry at you from earlier. So then we're
Yeah. But now they just let me lead. I'm like, okay, fine. Let's do it. And yeah, it's always lovely.
I love it. And you can totally see that workflow live in the space. I think that's so wonderful. And like throughout this interview, you kind of mentioned like the highs, the lows, like appreciate when you're high, but also, hey, we have bad days too. So it's all good.
Yeah,
Speaking,
very human, for sure.
Yeah. So speaking of workflow, I'm super curious because a lot of the people that we talk to are also like DJs and producers. And I know y'all are making music as well. What does that workflow look like in the studio?
Well, there's a lot of sounds that get pre-researched and approved, and then so there's basically a project lab where we experiment with sounds and loops, and then it always has to be approved by both of us. If I get too weird in the sound, she let me know, like, that's definitely not working. So this little like semillero, ¿cómo se dice semillero?
Like a seed pool is like we
seed
work a
pool of
lot.
sounds and loops, yes.
You have to start with something, and
Yeah.
then we work on like different templates or different
Yeah,
things to pull from,
exactly.
pull ideas from.
And then once those ideas are a bit more marinated and like more evolved,
Mhm.
more developed, then I hit it in terms of, okay, let's make this idea into a track and extend that into a project. But there's always I heard that from other producers. When you don't know if your music is good, you need to ask your lady friends. They will tell they will let you know immediately if it works or if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
We think it's dope, and then like if the babes are dancing or are feeling the tune, it works. Otherwise, you're just making up shit that doesn't work. So yeah, it's in every step of the process making a track. I push the limits in terms of like weirdness and technicalities, and then Adriana is always kind of saying, okay, this works and this doesn't work, and that's the dynamic, basically how.
Yeah, I like that. Sounds like the director and the producer, and you guys make that work. I actually did an interview with Nick Muir, and that's what he was talking about, his workflow with digweed, because I mean, when you're traveling so much, you're not always in the
no,
same
and you also have fresh ears. So like, you know, when you're working on a project for so long, you don't know if it's really good or not, or you're just in love with this sound that you're just already assimilating it as valid. And then the other person comes in with fresh ears and say, well, you know, this is good, or this is not working, or this is working.
Green light, red light.
Yeah. And, you know, fresh ears. And at the end of the day, we are as DJs, we are tastemakers. So the taste is there. The rest is technicality. So putting kicks and claps together when it requires time, and, you know, and learning the DAW and whatnot, but knowing what works, it requires taste, and that's the important part, and that's definitely needed in the process, and we are, you know, we have that blessing of bouncing each other's ideas and critically looking at them and see if it works.
Yeah, I think that's so incredible, and you're so lucky that you have that, because a lot of the times as producers, we're sending off to other people, and, you know, they might be making different music, or they don't have time to listen to it, or, you know, they won't always have the opportunity.
Real feedback.
Yeah. And actually, I was looking at some of the advice that you were giving. I want to say it was Levy or Douglas.
Oh yeah, on Facebook, yes.
Yeah, about like tips and tricks on making music. And you said a lot of really wonderful things about trying to remake what you're hearing, but making it your own and practicing. And it was sound advice. I remember reading it.
Yeah, no, it's basically, yeah, it's people want to get making tracks and ranking tracks, and they forget that there's a process behind to get to that point. So I was saying, well, you need to first learn music theory, because it's not just about the kicks and the claps. And then you need to learn your DAW, Logic or Ableton or whatever you choose. And then after that, it's about trying to, exactly, if you're a DJ or a taste maker, you know what's good, get those ideas that you've been listening to and try to replicate that to learn, and make your own twist to also experiment. And then after that, just kind of start thinking about releasing and making originals. But before that, it's about really pushing that learning process and using what you hear to your advantage.
And it's obviously working for you too, because you've had quite the extensive touring schedule, especially this summer. How are you managing your time? Flying, driving, hotels, performing? What advice do you have for artists that are trying to do the same but not burn out?
I think it's hard in the sense that I think you always want to be really good at everything that you do. And sometimes you have to just realize that, okay, now we're focusing on this, and maybe the house, you know, maybe your laundry's not getting done, you know, or whatever it is. But, you know, having a clear schedule, like planned. Milestone things that you have to achieve to get to those things.
Day by day, no, exactly, yeah.
Get organized. And, you know, they say, like, give a busy person something to do, will get done. You know, you just learn to make use of the, you know, like before we started this project, or at the beginning of this project, you're kind of on Netflix and you can kick it with anybody. Oh my God, have you seen the latest? And then now you're just like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, if we're not talking about music and like what kind of music we're listening to, you know, I don't know. Like, I have become less of a good conversationalist. I'm not as good anymore. But because you try to spend as much time being productive and doing the things that you need to get done.
Yeah, so I think that for sure. And then while at the festivals, it was also for us a learning curve, because, well, before you used to go to jazz party or to just, you know, have fun. And now we are there basically doing our job. So we are still networking, still having fun, but it's about getting the job done and doing it right. So we had to shift our focus and our mindset to basically not take a festival as a we still did party and had a good time, but not going to the party mindset, and then just really keep it fresh and and having a rum shot maybe on the stage and you're playing, but maybe not the whole bottle, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, just maybe. So having that mindset of, okay, we're now working and we need to take each moment into account to make it for our advantage, networking or meeting people or working ideas or thinking ideas or performing. So that mindset was definitely key this summer, because the first summer we did music festivals every weekend.
And I think, again, it goes back to doing something really well. Like when sometimes you go on stage and maybe you didn't have the best set. And so you're always like, okay, like what could I have done better? And like, you're like, okay, definitely should not have stayed up last night. Definitely should not have done it. So you just learn like, okay, like this is the things that I need to get ready to have the best time. And when you're having the best time, it translates into a great performance.
Yeah.
So, we were lucky, but we were blessed this summer to have all these opportunities. But just because, for that reason, we also wanted to give back everything all those opportunities that we got. Okay, make it really worthwhile for these people, make it awesome for the people putting on the parties, it so that they want to invite you back. So, it's a lot of research, it's a lot of, and that's the thing, you want to...
Yeah, you need to be rested so you can keep on going. You come back from the festival, you need to research more music, you need to prepare more music, because you can't play the same set because some people go to all the festivals too, right? Yeah. So you can't just waste time. You need to be sharp, rested, and ready to go and to do every day before and after the festival. Yeah,
and there is no other formula except for get to it, guys.
Yeah, execute. I love what Adriana, you said a little bit earlier, was that if you give a busy person something to do, they'll get it done. It is so true. I did not learn this until I had a kid, that I am more efficient now than when I had all the time in the world. And the more tasks that are given to me, the more I'm just like, okay, let's make this happen. And you two actually kind of saved my butt today by doing this interview a day early so that I could pick up work for tomorrow, which is...
Well, you're welcome.
Yes. Appreciate it. But,
teamwork.
Yeah. Hashtag not killing vibes. Yeah. But yeah, Frank, you were talking about doing your homework. I love that. Do your homework. If you're going to go out and have a great time at these festivals, make sure you're taking the opportunities, networking and meeting people, and like you said, giving back. And it is so apparent to me that what you're doing is working, because it wasn't just this festival that was like, bring back Monkey Twerk, but a lot of people have been talking about what y'all are doing and how amazing and good vibes that you guys have got going on. So I feel like it's such a pleasure to have you guys on the show. I'm so excited.
We're so excited. My heart here, Thank you. Thank you for having us. It's equally especially for us.
So I wanted to end the interview off with any last thoughts from you two, upcoming releases or gigs you want people to know about.
In December, we have Fernie,
Edmonton,
Calgary
too.
So yeah, we're definitely trying to, get around, spread the Monkey Twerk vibes here and there.
There's some shows.
Do you want to talk about Fancy Fox music?
Yeah. So we have we started this year a project called Fancy Fox Music. Fancy Fox Music is basically a collective of artists where we grow together as artists and learn from each other. And then it has different battlefronts. One of them is a record label. So Fancy Fox Music is a record label. We've been releasing under that this whole year. Us and then our homies from Big D's and Thomas Anthony in Edmonton. So more music coming through Fancy Fox. We just released Jungle Sound at the end of October. So when this interview is out, will have been released also Lick It Up, which is the next one.
Yes.
So there's more music coming like that. We're working on more music for sure now. Let's say this music that we worked on this year. We're now gearing up for next festival season and next year. So starting to work on new projects. So there's more music coming up. The other side of business with Fancy Fox Music is parties and events. We started a music festival called the River Womb. So we started to work on that for next year. Again, that's in west of Edmonton. Have a couple of parties. We throw parties in Alberta. So there's more parties coming.
I would say follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Monkey Twerk DJs. Stay connected with us. We really try to put on the events that we do. We don't do it, every month or anything, but the vibes are there.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other part of Fancy Fox Music is we are going to start taking a more active role on teaching music production and guiding young artists through their artist process to grow as artists. So yeah, we're gonna be doing all those things: releasing music, teaching production, putting out parties. So yeah, just follow us everywhere. You can find us as Monkey Twerk or Monkey Twerk DJs on Instagram.
We'll put all the links.
Yeah, exactly.
Links, y'all.
And Fancy Fox is 2 X's, so Fancy Fox Music everywhere.
Fancy Fox Music everywhere. I love it. I'm so excited for you two. I am looking forward to seeing you again on the road and rocking some stages with you. If there was anything in this interview that really stood out to all y'all that are watching, make sure you let us know in the comments below, and definitely share the love. Go check out Monkey Twerk Vibes. They're so fantastic.
Yeah, right back at you.
Yes,
all of you.
love you.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah, of course. And to sign off the video, as I always do, don't let no one kill your vibes.